Hello, it is Rachel, and as I am recording, the new year is beginning again. So I've been doing a lot of live presentations about how to ease the transition into this new school year, which is still a little bit unpredictable, a little uncertain. At the same time, this week, I recorded a podcast episode about how to support a child who isn't standing up for themselves, who won't tell others what they need. And I saw a theme between the live presentations I was doing and this week's episode. And that theme is that we need to empower our children more. It is so tempting as parents to fix or solve problems for them. It's even tempting, if we're letting our children solve their own problems, to tell them how to do it and what to say. So if they're struggling, let's say, with a friend who's being mean, we might tell them, this is what you should say, or this is what you should do. And telling them how they should handle problems actually creates more problems in that, number one, let's say we give them a solution. We tell them what to say, and it was an amazing thing to say. It worked really well. All that we have taught them is that they need us to solve their problems, which leads to the next issue. The next time they face challenges or obstacles, they're actually likely to become even more nervous because we're not around, and they might not believe that they can solve problems on their own. So we need to empower them to find solutions, and I want to give you some tips for how to do that. So let's say your child is, for example, struggling with a friend who's been mean to them. The first thing you want to do is ask them what's been hard about it. You actually want them to complain a little bit. And the reason you want them to complain is because this allows them to release some of the yuck or uncomfortable feelings that have been inside. When someone is in yuck, child or adult, when we are in yuck, we can't access the problem-solving part of our brain. So we need to let kids release some of that yuck, because if you don't do that, you'll say to them, what do you think is the solution? And you'll hear, I tried everything, nothing works. That's their yuck talking. So first you want to let them release that yuck. Once they have done that and you've listened without fixing or solving, the next thing you want to ask is, can I offer a suggestion? Now, this is a very empowering question because they can say yes and they can say no. And if they say no, that they don't want a suggestion, they weren't going to listen to you anyway, so you may as well save your breath. But if they say yes, that's an indication that their problem-solving part of their brain is open and their open-mindedness is available, and they'll actually listen to what you have to say. If they've said yes, they're willing to listen to you, what you might want to say is something like this. Well, here's what I would do, or these are my thoughts, but, and then you'd want to add, I'm not 7 years old or 15 years old. Can you tell me what a 7-year-old or 15-year-old, however old your child is, can you tell me what you might do? Or you could say, what do you have to change about my suggestion to make it work for you? So you're starting with some ideas, but you're encouraging them to change it to make it work for them so they realize they were part of the solution. Now, if you're still getting resistance at this point, if they're saying, no, that's never going to work, there's nothing that will work, they're still in yuck, and it's probably not a great time to have that conversation. I want to give you one more tip. If you have a child who's just really unwilling at any time to have this conversation, that's a sign that they're probably uncomfortable, and it's actually more comfortable for them to judge others or critique others or advise others than to take that criticism or that advice for themselves. So you could read a book together or watch a movie together about a character who's also struggling and ask your child to advise or critique that character. They're still processing what a solution might be, but they're doing it in a safer way that probably makes them a little less resistant to talking about it. Now, if you do want to hear a little bit more about how to support a child who isn't standing up for themselves, who may have a little bit of fear or worry, I encourage you to check out my latest podcast episode. You can find that on my website, rachel-bailey.com/95. And I will be back again soon with more tips for you.